I know you talked at length about this already, but they weren't asked to win the Champions League. They were asked to get to the knockout stages. Yes, it was a tough group, though. But 24 hours afterwards, where are you standing on it now?
Very much like the Catalan papers. It's a failure. And for Barcelona, given the decisions that they made in essentially sacrificing the future of the club or gambling the future of the club because you were betting on this group of players to make a run in Champions League, to make a run in La Liga. And so when you have the financial component that goes alongside with the performance on the field, it puts an additional pressure on this team to be able to perform and to deliver. And the truth is that they haven't delivered. Now, while I agree with Luis that in La Liga they look good, what I would say is that they look good against teams that they're supposed to beat. When they have run into teams that are what we consider to be elite, what we consider to be important games, defining matches, season-defining matches, this group of players and this manager so far have come up short. They haven't been able to win enough of those games with any sort of consistency, and so therefore you have to ask questions of the players, of the managers, of the club, of the whole picture, because clearly and obviously, if you're Barcelona, you were betting on going through to the knockout stage and making a deep run in Champions League. That hasn't happened. Now you have to take a step back and say, okay, where do we go from here? What do we do from now? And how do we get to that point where we're once again successful in Europe? That hasn't happened in a while for Barcelona. It didn't happen in Champions League this year. Last year, it didn't happen in Europa League last year either. The questions remain, and until you start seeing big-time performances in big-time games, those questions will remain.
And you asked a question on the show yesterday, LA, saying has there been an improvement in this Barcelona side? Do you see an improvement, Luis, and who do you think is at fault for this exit?
No, I've seen an improvement because I liked some moments of this Barcelona. From the start of this season, you can see that it's not the same team like last year. It's more convincing. Normally at the 90% of the games, you can see there is a way of playing that is back, that the quality and the talent of the young players is there, something that it was missing for quite a long time. And that philosophy that everybody's asking about Barcelona is there. Yeah, said that, of course, we have to point the players because they haven't been at the level of the standards of this Barcelona at the moment. We have to point Xavi because he couldn't manage to use the puzzle or put the puzzle in the right position. We have to check on the board because maybe they have bring players who were not at the moment at the idea of this Barcelona. We've seen players that haven't been at their best in this team. So at the end, when there is a failure, you have to point a lot of things and a lot of things happening. But from that on, said that, the only way to take away something from this one is they are second in La Liga. They can win the Europa League. They can win the Cup. They can win the Super Cup. There are things to be won in this season. Of course, they need to continue working, but definitely Champions League is the main target. It was the main trophy, and they're not going to be there this season.
You know what was truly disappointing about yesterday's match against Bayern Munich, besides the fact that you lose the match, because that can happen, is the manner in which they lost and the body language, the attitude in general of the group, the lack of competitive pride that you have 85,000 people in the stadium that have come to support you, even though they know that you've already been eliminated from the competition. It's something that we talked about yesterday. But that lack of competitive pride, that lack of fight, that lack of intensity, that lack of energy, that is at the very least is the one thing that you have to bring to a game that is essentially meaningless. You have to bring it. You have to generate it because you have a responsibility to those fans, but you also have a responsibility to yourself and to your teammates, to the club, to the whole picture of Barcelona. And yet this team just kind of went through the motions. That's concerning because it tells me something about the personality of the group that I don't like to see. And it also shows the difference between a team like Bayern Munich, elite level, and Barcelona right now. Bayern Munich had nothing to play for in this game. Nothing. And yet, professional enough to knock the ball around, and whenever they had opportunities, they put those chances away. They win the game. See you guys later. No drama, nothing to see here. Barcelona, all drama and a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.